All right, Shalom, giving all praise and glory, honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles, great millstone that teach us this truth. Peace, love, and blessing to the elect, scattered around the four corners of the earth, mainly in Babylon the Great. All right, so continuation of part 2 lesson, dealing with the time that we're living in, pursuant to Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, a time for hate, time for love, and a time for peace and a time for war. And we're definitely in the times of hate and war. That's, being, sprung out all around the face of the planet Earth, because we are living in biblical prophecies. Whether you people believe it or not, the men of Great Millstone, GMS, the true worshipers and believers of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, are the true prophets of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. All right, and these things are happening. So, we got to hold on to what we have. Watch unto prayer and be occupied in prophecy, which is very important because indeed prophecy is happening. All right, I just typed in update on Iran war. Trump say went to war, preeminent Iran attacks. And you can do your own research. There's all types of news articles, going into it. It's not going to be no peace, not going to be no peace deals, or according to the scripts. Let's go into it. At the end of the day, these are biblical prophecies, man. You can't stop what the Lord has in store for Babylon the Great. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and of the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua HaMashiach, so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. All right? And that's going into everything, because every time you turn around, because our people trust in oppression. And this message is only for the Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole, Indian descent, so-called Haitians and Jamaicans, according to your father's lineage. This message is for you, the true people of Israel, ultimately the elect, because 2/3 are going to perish and die on this side in America. All right, the majority of our people are going to take that MOTB because they have no faith in the true living power, the true living God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And ultimately, they don't know what the hell is going on, man. Ultimately, because as life still continues and goes on, people are ignorant to the fact, majority of the people are ignorant to the fact that Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed according to Bible prophecy, which most people don't truly believe in the Bible. All right, and it's going to come as a thief in the night. All right, people saying peace and safety. They're hoping and trusting in this place, trusting in Babylon the Great, hoping that this place will, build back better. But that's not the case. Verse 4, but ye brethren are not in darkness, that the day should not overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. All right, we're not in ignorance. That's ultimately what it boils down to. We're not in ignorance of what's going on in the planet Earth. The things that we see that's going on in the planet Earth is ultimately for our benefit, for the controversy of Zion, Isaiah, the 34th chapter, I believe, verse 7 or verse 8. Matter of fact. Isaiah 34 and 8. For it is the day of the Lord's Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. All right, for the troubles, all right, of Zion. All right. Those people over there in the land now are not the true children of Israel. All right, the true children of Israel is still in captivity. They went through hard bondage. They went through slavery by the way of cargo ships, transatlantic slave trade. All right, the Sahara slave trade. All right, you name it, man. The ones that's truly oppressed, and at the bottom. And ultimately, you Edomites are not at the bottom, especially you elites of the Edomites. All right. And you average American Edomites, so-called white people, you just got dealt with the bad hand of the stick. All right. And that's ultimately through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, man. The Lord did that unto you. So as we like to call y'all are double or two-time losers, because this is your empire that you're supposed to be ruling in. This is your kingdom. All right. But due to the wickedness and the greed of Esau Edom, he made sure that you do not be partakers of his kingdom, of his rulership. Only the elites is going to benefit. All right. And a lot of people are noticing and waking up to the fact that all their money and all their hard work ultimately benefits the elites. All right. The elites of this society. And they're not even over here. They're not even from here. All right. They live on the other part of the world. The ones that, you know, have all these companies, corporations built up over here. The one that, you know, deal with your taxes, how much you can receive, you know, pay, all that, man. And a lot of Americans are feeling the squeeze because we are living in the times of exposure. And after that, the exposure, the judgment and the destruction. All right. That's why at the end of the day, us in the knowing and in the truth, we rejoice in the days like this, even though everybody else is doom and gloom. You know, everybody feeling some type of way because everybody now all of a sudden got something to say about the war that's going on now, because they're seeing their precious America collapsing. It's falling. Jeremiah 51:6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. And this is mentally. All right. But spiritually flee out of the midst of Zion. Because according to Revelation, the 18th chapter, when those chariots arrive, if we are of the elect, and also Matthew, the 24th chapter, verse 29 on down to 31, we're going to physically be beamed up, Lord will, if we're of that number, all right, beamed up in the spaceships, the chariots of the Lord Yahweh, through his only begotten son, or in the name of his only begotten son, by Hashem Yahweh Shah. All right, who is worthy to be praised. Fuck what everybody else say, man. That's why, and the shit's so crazy. All the sacrifice that Yahweh Shah did for his people, redeeming us back, and you got niggas still disrespecting his name. That's why. That's another reason why I can't wait till Lord Yahweh Shah come back and fuck these people up and destroy this place, man. This shit is wicked. All right, and I'm fired up in the spirit because thinking about that woman, man. All right, even though, like I say, it was, you know, it was calm and stuff, and I ain't got no ill will really towards her personally. It's her spirit, it's her doctrine that she believe in. Like I said, you got to be a goddamn fool not to believe in the only begotten son. You got to be a fool not to believe in the New Testament, or vice versa, or even the whole book, because you got certain people that are pure atheists. All right, you are a fucking fool, man. And that's why, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, the true names, the Lord's going to fuck this place up. He's going to judge this place. Esau's not going to escape judgment. 2/3 are not going to escape. All right. Lord Yahweh Shah is going to get his glory and fame. All right. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, her philosophies, and therefore the nations are mad. All right. And because ultimately these nations are suffering due to the allegiance or the alliance that they have with America, Babylon the Great. They're noticing the backdoor deals with other countries that they don't like. All right, reneging on certain treaties and certain plans and talks that these other nations are wanting to agree with But America is backtracking. All right, but it's ultimately through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, these things were going to happen, because it's the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai to judge this place and judge this world, because this is not a righteous world, man. All right. Let's lock it. Get a little drink. It's all good. Somebody down. Damn. Now walk past a little rubber, motherfucker. I tell you, motherfuckers don't use them no more. That why damn STDs at an all-time high. But nonetheless, it's all due to the curses, dealing with those diseases and stuff like that. So it is what it is. All right, Esau. Verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take palm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. Verse 9. We will have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reacheth into the heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. All right, and that's why this judgment is going to happen upon Babylon, the Great America, because of the wickedness that they promoted, not just here in America, but all over the globe. All right, the wine of the fornication. All right, that's why the nation is going to be mad. And ultimately, they're going to realize